Hey guys, the past couple days have been really hectic and I have not been able to shoot like I wanted to. Anyway, instead of leaving you guys with no video, I decided to do a rerun on a video I did 5 months ago regarding mental health. Since it's the holidays and these are times where people can be sad, I thought it would be a great video to reissue and remind everyone that it will be okay if you get the right support. So without further ado, here's the rerun. Greetings and salutations, brownies. Welcome to another episode of Just Jazz Vlogs. Now, because there's a lot of drama circulating Fousey and this big July 15th event that failed, as we all saw, it got me thinking. I've really wanted to talk about mental health and my mental health for a while, but I didn't really know how to incorporate it into the videos. But since all of this happened, I thought this would be the perfect time where it is clickbait and still true. So, what I want to talk about is my bout with depression and how I think depression is something I'll probably be battling for the rest of my life, and the fact that Fousey seems to be having a mental breakdown for the whole world to see, and it appears as if no one in his inner circle cares enough to tell him so. Or maybe they have, and he just isn't listening because he is an adult and he can make all of the decisions that he wants. Back to me. As I've mentioned in many videos up to this point, I was in foster care. And with that has its issues. And I don't want to use the phrase as a result, but because of some of the things that I felt, I think that has attributed to my depression. I knew that something was wrong with me, not wrong with me from a young age. Uh, um, there were times where I would get really anxious and really nervous for no reason, and I would drive everyone insane. But I just thought it was just me being a kid, and kids have nervous energy, and they're nervous, impatient little creatures. And I still am a little impatient. But it didn't really take shape until I got to college, and I felt like I was on my own. I think what happens in college is you maybe not you slowly begin to realize that you're kind of on your own in some senses, and that mom and dad are not going to be there for every situation, and they're not going to be able to make it better. Along with that and some other issues, I dove straight into a depression. I remember it probably started my second year, which was back in 2012, 2013, and I just started to feel better, and it's 2018. In the beginning, I thought it was just me being homesick, and then it kind of evolved into me crying from time to time. Then it started with me not wanting to leave my dorm or my apartment for like a day or two at a time. And then I started drinking a lot more. And though I am not an alcoholic, I do think for a time I drank heavily because I did not want to deal with the thoughts in my head. They weren't bad thoughts. I would wake up in the morning and I would tell myself, like, you're useless, you're stupid, nobody wants you around, any negative thing you can think of are the things that I started telling myself as my depression got worse. And then it turned into, I don't want to feel this anymore, but at the same time, I just need to keep busy. So I would literally, in college, go from about 7 o'clock in the morning until like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And just go, go, go. No break. I didn't want to give myself the opportunity to truly rest and recharge. I just wanted to do anything I could to not think about what was upsetting me. And then that turned into me kind of just getting sick physically and breaking down. And then after that, I didn't want to leave my house. I didn't leave my house. For 5 months, I rarely left my house. I would shower maybe once every couple weeks, once a month, if not that. It got to the point where my other roommates had to call and email our landlord landlord because I smelled so bad, and I didn't smell it at that point because I was just depressed. It got to the point where they said they were gonna kick me out if I didn't, make a difference. That's how bad it got. There were times looking back on it now where I would like walk down the street or walk to class from time to time that I did go out and people would hold their noses and everything. That is how bad it got. My hair was a mess. I gained like over 50 pounds. And looking back on it, I see all my mistakes. But at the time, I didn't notice it. I didn't know how far down I had gone. And then it got to the point where I thought about killing myself and thought about ways of doing it so it would be as painless as possible. I remember I would have crazy thoughts like, maybe you should stab yourself. Because I remember thinking one day, you need to die with honor. People who stab themselves die with honor, which makes absolutely no sense. Absolutely none. But when you're in as deep into a depression and with as irrational thinking that I was, it made sense. I remember thinking I should go out and get a gun and shoot myself in the head. And then I'm thinking, but, what if it doesn't work? Because there have been stories of people who have shot themselves and they still lived. And they're worse off now than they were before. Of course, I thought about pills and everything else. There was a time when they had to do a wellness check on me because of my friend who called on my behalf. But yeah, it got really bad. And my family knew none of this because when they would call, I would say everything's fine. Like I didn't come home for like 2 years at one point because I was so embarrassed of how I looked and how I felt that I didn't want my mom or anyone to be disappointed in me. Which looking back on it was completely stupid because essentially I had to tell them, and my mom was the one who kind of helped put me back together. God, I love that woman. Anyway, what I think I'm trying to say is everybody's sitting there laughing at Fuzi, telling him how irrational he's being. And what I'm here to tell you is I've been where he is. Maybe maybe not as arrogant and narcissistic as he's portraying himself, but I know what it's like to have deep and serious irrational thoughts, but at the time when you're in it, it makes 100% sense. Like, I don't know why I thought back in the day that stabbing myself was the best way to die. That's just nuts. But that's what wound up happening. And it upsets me, like I said, that no one in his inner circle seems to care about his well-being as long as they're making money off of him. And I have a little bit to play a role in that. Keemstar from Drama Alert, he is making a docu-series on it, like Shane Dawson did with TanaCon. I watched part 1 this morning, and I'm definitely going to watch part 2 today. So I think I am also playing and feeding into it. But at the same time, what I'm hoping is that he gets the help that he needs. In a way, I'm glad that team is putting this out. So maybe somebody out there, it will touch them and they'll contact them, Fuzi, and he'll listen. Like, it just takes one person. Like, when you're in that state, a million people can tell you the same thing about how you need to get help and how you need to get better. But all it takes is that one person that in our minds clicks and we get the help that we need. Mine was my mom. She basically was stern and kind of broke it down for me and said, this is what's wrong. First of all, you need to take a shower. Second of all, you need to do this, this, and this. And from then on, I started getting help. The other thing was, I started medication a couple years ago, and for the time that I was depressed, I didn't take it. And that probably had a lot to do with it. I had convinced myself that I didn't need it. And that was probably the worst mistake I made. So, looking back on it, I hope I never get there again. I try my best to surround myself with people that I know will tell me the truth, or I hope will tell me the truth, and I'm a lot better now. I still have days where I get really sad. Like yesterday, I just wanted to cry for absolutely no reason. Nothing was wrong in my life, nothing out of the ordinary, but that's how upset I was. But, you know, it got better. I didn't cry, and I was able to calm myself down and kind of make myself feel better. And with that being said, to wrap up, if you're going through a depression, if you suffer from mental illness, you are not alone. Hopefully you have loved ones in your life that will support you and help you get the help that you need. If you like this video and you want to speak about the matter, comment below, let me know. You can always write me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. As long as I don't feel like it's spamming or I don't feel like being a creep, you're being a creep to me, I'm going to respond. But let's start a conversation. And I really hope that if this isn't a stunt by Fuzi, which it could be, I really hope he gets the help that he needs. And if it is a stunt, it's just not funny. Like, it's kind of pathetic, and you shouldn't be doing that. But that's my personal opinion. Have a fantastic day. Stay blessed, and you'll see me on Friday. Goodbye.